Hello, my fellow nerds out there. It's Oracle Nerd Richie, and welcome back to our Wonderland. In the last episode, we learned a little bit more about Gidget, and yeah, turns out that she really actually likes Iggy. So we're gonna be continuing the story from where we left off, and we're somewhere around here. The darkness swallows me. I'm falling. Wind whips my hair, my shirt, summoning water to my eyes. Something feels like it's being sucked up straight to my bowels. On and on. Complete nothingness surrounding me. Consuming me. But there's a strange sense of familiarity in the darkness, too. Almost like an old friend is welcoming me back. Iggy. That voice again. Again. Yes, again. He's been waiting for me. What do you want, Iggy? What do I want? What kind of question is that? What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? I don't know. I think about Gidget, Genzo, about the tangled mess of feelings plaguing my thoughts. I don't know. I feel like I'm being pulled. First one way, then the next. Like a puppet suspended in the air. I grope in the darkness trying to find something to hold on to. But there's nothing there. Nothing inside me. Nothing to hold me down. I don't know. I don't know what I want. The pulley feeling begins to recede. I'm on a single path again. And my fingers are starting to tingle. There's tiny nibbles of numbness, then building into incessant stabs of electricity. Up my arms they go, growing into my chest, into my stomach, shooting down to my legs. So loud, so loud I can't hear, I can't think. Just when I think I can't take it anymore, my mind goes blank. Iggy! There's something soft below me. A furry warmth curled up against my back. And nested against my back like an oversized lumber pillow. Iggy! Who is that? Genzo? Why is he in my apartment? The thought of makes me laugh, and I roll over with a groan, pushing my face back into the exceptionally soft bit of fur with a smile of contentment. Give me 5 more minutes, Genzo. Then I'll come out for breakfast. For fuck's sake, Eggs, you're gonna get yourself buried in there. Wait a minute. My eyes snap open. This isn't my apartment. Though that is Genzo. Then what are we... I set up the start so fast that it makes my head spin and thoughts dance across my eyes. I immediately sink back down, fingers pressed to my temple as I wait for the world to stabilize itself. Fuck. Fuck is right. But let's just take things one step at a time, eh? A shadow overtakes my view, and I look up to see a familiar orange-capped head. I turn my bleary gaze towards Genzo. That's right. We're here. And like everything that's happened so far, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not sure anything would surprise me at this point. How long have you been awake? I asked with a groan. Genzo reaches down and grabs my hand, pulling me to my feet with a laugh. Long enough to hear you talking in your sleep, Mr. Who is Mr. Cornwall, and why is he trying to make you sing? I stare at him for a moment, head still struggling to catch up. Then grunt and try to step forward to the center of the room. My legs promptly give. The world quickly rises around me as I tumble forward. And I'd have gone all the way to the floor too if Genzo hadn't somehow managed to grab me ungracefully beneath my armpits. My arms cocked out like little chicken wings. Let's just take it easy there, buddy. Not gonna get very far if you bust your head open on our childhood snack rack. He hauls me over to the table in question with a grunt, plopping me down atop one of the small chairs. It's barely large enough to encompass my adult rear end. We're really here then, I say, my gaze scans the room. My eyes flick from the table, still covered in half-eaten cookies, to the crackling fire, rounded windows, and simmering stove. Everything is just as I remember. Almost as if I'd been here yesterday. Had I been here yesterday? That we are. Though I think you'll concur with me that it wasn't altogether entirely unexpected. Genzo's finger goes to his chin. No. I let my lips buzz a sigh of remorse, and slap my hands against my forehead. But that's exactly why this feels so weird. What the fuck is going on? Some prime fuckery, that's what. Genzo laughs and waggles his finger above his head. I wonder if these are still good. He swipes half of the chocolate chip cookies off the hardwood surface. Seriously? He shrugs. The guy's gotta eat. Genzo's literally my spirit animal. I push myself to my feet, leaving him to his cookie munching ministrations, and wandering towards the other side of the room. A chill sweeps up my back. Oh god, I woke up really early this morning, I'm not gonna lie. A chill sweeps up my back, and I curl my arms in front of my chest, all of a sudden feeling incredibly cold. My head is a mess. The jumbled snarl of out-of-focus snapshots dancing across my vision, and a whole smorgasbord of feelings to go with them. Fear, anger, panic, but also others I can't explain. Joy, relief, pain. I wince. I'm starting to feel nauseous. Hey, you okay? Genzo's voice snaps at me from my thoughts. And when I glance back, I see him staring at me, half a cookie hanging out of his mouth. The absurdity and strange familiarity of the image brings a sudden bubble of laughter from my lungs. And when I try to suppress it, I end up snorting instead. Attractive, Genzo smirks. Oh, says the one snarfing down who knows how long they've been sitting there cookies. Hey! He starts as though he's about to make some sort of smart mouth rebuttal. But he ultimately shrugs it off, wandering over to me instead. Seriously though, you look like you're about to pass out. Fucking pale as a ghost. And I mean worse than usual. He presses the back of his hand to my cheek. The touch, combined with the words, sends lightning bolt-like synapses shooting through my brain. With such force, it takes the breath out of me. Both of us snap backwards. Did you? I start just staring at him. Now it's Genzo that turned to go pale. I've said that before, haven't I? Those same exact fucking words. My eyes feel like they're shaking in their sockets. Fuck. But we're not given time to ponder the increasingly absurdity of our situation. There's footsteps outside. Heavy, march-like, steady and methodical. Oh no! Genzo groans. We dash towards the window, but it's not like we need to. Both of us know what's about to round the bend outside. They appear as predicted, 2 by 2, boots bruising the dirt along ears bouncing left to right, left. They round the curved and well-trimmed path, kicking up dust with each synchronous step. I step away from the window, wringing my hands. The nausea plaguing my stomach is growing worse. Already, I can feel the walls starting to undulate around me. Tendrils of panic clutching at my chest and throat. Genzo! I moan before I can stop myself, breath coming out faster and faster. Genzo spins around and starts towards me, face colored with worry. But just as he opens his mouth, the footsteps outside come to a stop. An abrupt stop. Even more abrupt than expected. Who's there? Show yourself! A squawk so shrill it rattles the window and the glass pane. The shock of it gives my bowels such a twitch that I'm pretty sure I spritz my linens on the spot. Eyes strained, I throw a look at Genzo, who looked equally terrified. How could they? There's no way they could have. Then comes the sound of boots. Uh-oh. Crisp and sharp, the footsteps grow louder, near the cottage door. He's coming inside. My hand goes instinctively against his shoulder, fingers curling tight into the fabric of his jacket. I see him move purposefully to the left, putting himself between me and the door with one arm raised to keep me back. Closer. This is actually starting to make me a little nervous. The rabbit is almost here now. I can hear the rattle of iron in his boots with each deliberate stomp. Closer. The door is shaking on its hinges. I see the rabbit's eyes in my mind, jumpy, wild, bearing down on me. Then, I ordered you to show yourself. Just what are you doing back there? This is followed by the sound of a rustled brush. Wretched fabric. A yelp. I stare at the door. Blink. What? My grip on Ginzo's jacket loosens over so slightly. I'm doing my job. I do have a permit, so if you would please... A pause. More shifting noises. Then a thud of something, or someone, presumably falls back to the ground. Very well, as much as it pains me, I'll allow you to stay. Try not to make yourself look so much like a suspicious brigand begging for an overnight stay at His Majesty's stall next time. Something skids across the dirt. Then the rabbit's footsteps begin anew. Away, away, away. Another squawk. Back to it, you ingrates! That makes my eardrums bleed. Then the marching resumes. Crisp, sharp, and perfectly in time. Oh, so one of the rabbit guards didn't die this time. That's so weird. Only after a completely facing distance do I let my shoulders fall. I release the breath I hadn't even known I'd been holding. I shoot Genzo a look of confusion, then start hesitantly towards the door. My fingertips find the doorknob. I swallow. Then open it. Just for a moment, I have to squeeze my eyes shut against the light. It's quite a bit brighter than the dim cottage lighting. But after a few harried blinks, I manage to squint just enough to see. And my gaze instantly goes in the direction of the previous altercation had taken place. Oh? Who's that? A young man in black vest stands there muttering to himself, gaze flickering back and forth between a clipboard and one hand and a pocket watch in the other. Oh, is he... Wait, pocket watch. Is he supposed to be like the rabbit from Wonderland? It's like, I'm late. I feel like that's it, because that's the only time I could think of the pocket watch. He doesn't look especially agreeable. In fact, between the scowl of his face and the 2-ton boulders beneath his eyes, he looks downright cantankerous. Hello? I managed to eke out despite my sheer bewilderment. The man's head pops up, and I see him size me up before flipping his gaze to his clipboard, then back to me. There you are. He stands up straight and snaps his pocket watch closed with an irate flick of the wrist. I expected you earlier. Come along, then. I take a step back. Whoa. Wait just a second there. Who even are you? By this point, Genzo has made it outside. His appearance of a new individual, he brings a hand to my shoulder. Who's this fucker? The man cocks his head, looks at Genzo, looks back at his clipboard. There's only supposed to be one of you. Genzo takes an indignant step forward, middle finger pointing to the sky. There's quickly gonna be none of you if you don't start talking, jackass. Pleasant fellow, the man blinks. I'm only doing as I've been told. Pick up one Iggy Maxwell from the cottage by the lane at... Another check at the clipboard. 5 on the hour. Pick him up and take him where? Why, to the mistress, of course. Genzo looks at me. I look at Genzo. Mistress? I finally manage. Yes, she is expecting you. Wanted to make sure you made it safely and comfortably to town. I take a step forward, one hand against her shoulder, in an effort to assuage the palpable resentment. He snorts, but seems to calm some. You mean Gidget? I ask, despite being fairly confident of the answer. The man cocks his head in the other direction this time. That would be correct. I guess, I glance around. I don't remember this. I don't remember any of this. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. But a ride to Gidget seems good? Convenient? Better than stumbling around this place ourselves anyway. That sounds fine, yeah. We'll go. Iggy! Genzo hisses. You heard him, he's taking us to Gidget, which is where we're gonna go anyway, right? I throw a hand back in direction that the rabbit guards headed earlier. Better than taking our chances with the 7-foot rabbits anyway. Genzo looks like he wants to say something, then jerks away with a huff, wipes his nose. I guess. I move towards the man, who's now impatiently checking his watch again. I hold out my hand with what seems like a friendly gesture of hospitality. Iggy? And, this is Genzo. The man looks at my hand, looks at me. You may call me Cecil. He turns on his heels with a flick of his vest, hands shoved into his pockets as he starts down the path circling the cottage. This way. I simply watch him for a moment, blinking in silence and stay hands still outstretched, then jog to catch up. Genzo scuttles along behind, one hand to his cap. Both of us, however, are brought to an abrupt stop when we round the corner. Oh? And we come face to face with the grandest carriage we've ever seen. My jaw nearly falls to the floor. 4 enormous gilded wheels hold it aloft from the ground, and the carriage itself, like a smooth white teardrop, sits amongst the rest of the coiled green vines, almost like a pumpkin reigning over its patch. At the head of the carriage, 2 white stallions stamp and kick at the dirt impatiently, their manes like twin braided bouffants adoring their crowns. I feel like fucking Cinderella or something. We're going in this? Genzo's voice rises a good 2 octaves. Cecil throws a bored glance at the carriage, voice monotone. Yes, that was the idea, though it might be a bit... His eyes go back to Genzo. Tight. This was supposed to be a single rider after all. I see Genzo's face start to go red again. I bring a hand to his shoulder. It's fine, we'll make it work. Cecil opens the carriage door with an apathetic kick, then holds his hand out. Come along then, we're already late. Oh, right. I step forward, look hesitantly from Cecil to the open door, then grab his hand and use it to propel myself up to the carriage. Once inside, I fall unceremoniously down the seat, banging my head against the back wall. For fuck's sake! Though the pain is relatively short-lived, overtaken once again by the awe as I gaze up around the interior of the carriage. Where the outside had been utterly devoid of color, and inside is rife with it. The arcing ceiling, sewn in the velvety swaths of blue, red, blue, yellow, and yellow fabrics. Deep purple curtains pulled back against the windows, and even the chair is sitting on a veritable throne, sporting no less than 4 different colors in a section of cushionry. Tucked in front of me is a small round table of a rich mahogany, a tea set with cups, cakes, and cookies laid out on top. This is fucking luxurious. I swallow hard, all of the sudden feelings incredibly out of my league. At that moment, however, Genzo tumbles in, and I quickly come to understand the full weight of Cecil's earlier moment. It's tight. Very tight. And as both of us try to squeeze into the single-person seat, I feel beads of sweat begin ghosting my hairline. Genzo ends up half squished against my armpit, while my left leg is forced halfway up on his thigh. I cough. He coughs. We both cross our arms in sync and attempt to sit back in the varying degrees of success. Pleasant journey, gentlemen. Cecil jaws before slamming the door shut and walking around to the front. Genzo shifts again. He looks 50 shades of uncomfortable. Better than taking our chance with the 7-foot rabbits, my ass. I hear him grumble beneath his breath. Hey, at least there's tea? I immediately pass him and reach for a pot. Ever so carefully, I lift it by its slender handle, then let the brown liquid arc down into the single cup. Once finished, I placed it gingerly back on the table so as to not chip the delicate porcelain. At that moment, Cecil must whip the horses in gear because we moved forward with a jolt and the freshly filled cup of tea slid straight off the table and onto the floor, cracking in two. Oh. Smooth. I sit back and place my hands in my lap, curl them around my chest, then take them back in my lap. I turn my gaze towards the slowly panning scenery, eyelids drooping. This is going to be a long ride, isn't it? Oh, so I guess we don't have to deal with the collector or whoever it is. I didn't know how long we were in that ride. 20 minutes? 30? In a AR situation, it would likely have been a delightful experience. Outside, the scene changes from one wondrous sight to after the next. Lush forests of red dapple trees, rolling hills and sunflowers, picturesque river landscapes. But inside, I'm a jumbled mess of nerves, thoughts jumping from conclusion over our current situation to anxiety about Gidget to growing discomfort over a cramp in my leg. And the further we cruise, the more of each of these thoughts morphs and expands. A particularly large bump in the road rocks the carriage, sending me hard against Genzo's shoulder. Sorry, I mutter as I sit back up. Genzo just grunts. He's still got his arms crossed, face half buried in the collar of his jacket. Break the tension by talking about the weather, break the tension by a childhood memory. I think we can get more information out of the childhood memory choice. I feel like that might be it. Break the tension with a childhood memory. Weird, but you know what this reminds me of? I start with a chuckle. What? That one summer you had to cart me along on your bike everywhere. Genzo raises the brow in confusion. Remember? 'Cause mine broke, and that was the summer my dad was forced to retire at the plant. So we were trying to save money and couldn't replace it. Yeah, sure, I remember it, but what the fuck does that have anything to do with any of this? Genzo splays his hands out to show an obvious disconnect. Oh, come on. The passing trees, the bumpy road. I curl my arms around his neck in a sardonically affectionate coo. Being squished against each other on a moving vehicle. Genzo bats me away with a flustered grunt. For fuck's sake, Iggs. I just laugh. You got legs of steel that summer. Then pat his knee, lowering my voice to the best impression of his crackly timber I can manage. Not sure you'd fare so well anymore, eh? You do something nice for a guy. Genzo snorts and raises his hands in the air, though I can see the grin tugging on the side of his mouth. Should have left you to run down the street waving your pasty little stick arms in the air. I stretch my arms out and palm surprise in an attempt at alluring that probably reads more like dying cow. Some people like the sallow look. Yeah, they're called morticians, Iggs. You know, jealousy is not a good look on you. Pshaw. You'd have to be blind to be attracted to an emaciated sack of He stops, blanches. Shit. Oh, an emaciated sack of shit? You've seen a lot of those in your day. I laugh and look at him. Then it hits me. Oh. I blink. He blinks. I scratch the back of my neck. Damn, I didn't even ask you about it. He looks away. Scratches beneath his cap. It's, whatever. What else was I gonna wish for? Am I right or am I right? He chuckles, but it sounds forced. I get that. A pause. It's like I didn't even notice, is all. It's true. I hadn't even realized it until this moment. Another one of those unsurprising surprises that's coming at us in droves lately. But this one in particular makes me feel guilty. What's there to notice, eh? It's not like this changes anything. Genzo scratches his cheek. Changes anything? Changes what? But he steers the subject in another direction before I can ask. Anyway, you ready to face Gidge? I sit back and my cheeks growing warm. Not really, but I haven't seen her since it happened. I started playing with my hands, scratching with my left index finger and my thumbnail. Do you think she's still, thinking about it? Iggy. She sent a horse-drawn carriage and a guy named Cecil to come pick you up, Iggs. Cecil, Iggs. She's more than thinking about it. Yeah. This makes my cheeks burn even hotter. I can't stop replaying it in my mind. So close to her in that car, the feeling of her lips on mine. I hadn't disliked it. Kissing like that, that closeness, that warmth. Thinking about it sends fuzzy whirligigs up through my chest. It's only when imagining going further that things start to go south. Genzo gives me a playful shove with his shoulder. You'll be fine, Slick. Besides, how long have you been friends for? No matter what happens, you two will find a way to work through it. I sit back with a sigh, gaze towards it, turning upwards. I wonder how close we are now. The gentle rocking motion of the carriage is starting to put me to sleep. I let my eyes flutter closed, then open them again. Just staring up at the roof of the carriage. Those colors, those bright colors, that rocking motion. Something about that combination. My eyes close again. Iggy, they're opening up the bouncy castle. My brow twitches. Come on, Gen, bouncy castle. Fuck, that's right. When I open my eyes again, it's there in front of me. All manner of hacked together colors, brilliant and bright shrieks of laughter coming from inside as it shudders. Come on, Iggy! Gidget still has my hand. She gives me a tug to pull me closer to the entrance. Alright. At this point, I don't have much of a choice. Besides, when am I gonna have another chance to jump around inside an inflatable castle? Gidget pulls herself up inside the entrance flap, promptly falling down on her rear end in a flurry of fabric. Graceful, I say with a laugh, starting to climb in after her. Then pause. Look back. Genzo and Orlin were just standing there, Genzo looking sullen and inebriated, and Orlin looking back and forth between Genzo and the castle with increasingly nervous flicks of his head. Do you want to go on it? I hear Orlin ask. Like, fuck I do. Orlin winces, but reaches towards him all the same, curling his hand around Genzo's wrist. It's okay, I can help you. Genzo slides his hand away with a jerk, stepping backwards. Don't you fucking touch me. I feel all of a sudden guilty. Come on, Gen. I slide back out, dash towards him, already out of breath. I'll help you. I just said I'm not going on that thing. Genzo just squawks. It'll be fun, come on. I grab his hand. At the touch, his face morphs into something unreadable, and the corner of his mouth twitches. In that instant of hesitation, I manage to pull him over to the entrance of the castle. I grab his cane away and toss it to his side before hooking my arms beneath his pits and hauling him up over the vibrantly hued threshold. Oh. I drag myself up after him and crawl over, one hand to his back, so he knows where I am. I'm already regretting this. Genzo has a shout over the sound of the air pump. He's on his hands and knees trying to keep his balance. The ground beneath us is bucking and bobbing like the surface of a turbulent waterbed. And when one of our overzealous classmates bounces a bit too close, it sends Genzo backwards onto his rear end with a yelp. I reach out for his hand, hooking my fingers in his, pulling him to his feet. Just hold on to me, I shout, before grabbing his other hand and starting to bounce. Aww. First gentle bounces, testing out the water, so to speak, then slowly transferring to larger and larger bounces. Genzo looks positively terrified at first. His fingers are clenched in mine so tightly it's cutting off the circulation. But little by little, he starts to join in, grin playing on his lips as he moves up and down with the undulating floor. There's a flash of purple next to us as Gidget bounces over. That's the way, boys, she laughs. I feel like I'm walking on the moon, Genzo shouts and nearly falls over. My turn, Iggy. Gidget's hands are on my shoulders now. I laugh. Release Genzo's hand to grab Gidget's instead. Fine, fine, I say with a grin. How can I resist an invitation to such a lovely lady? My prince, she coos sarcastically. Don't let me fall. Genzo falls back silently. I see his arms drop to his sides. He's no longer bouncing. But Gidget is jumping now. High, so high. And my own stomach is lurching up and down with each buoying wave. Higher and higher. Both of us laughing and shrieking, toppling over each other. I'm not sure how long the two of us bounce before Orla makes it over. I see him staggering his way towards us to the choppy expanse. However, he loses balance once he gets close, colliding straight into Genzo's shoulder. Genzo yelps, stepping back with a start. Orla falls to his knees between the three of us. It's quiet for a moment. Then Genzo laughs and reaches forward. Who's this? Orlam? His hands finds Orlam's shoulder, traveling upwards, thumbs feeling out his face. For a second, his palms cup Orlam's cheeks, almost as though he's about to lean in for a kiss. Then another laugh. He grabs Orlam's hair and fingers curl into the base of his rat tail. Damn, you didn't know you were that desperate to... Jesus. I ain't saying that. He shoves Orlam's face to his crotch with a cackle. So shameless in front of everyone. Genzo, I snap. It's not like Genzo's picking on Orlam is anything new, but this is too much. That's enough. I release Gidget's hand and step forward, swat at Genzo, sending Orlam back into his rear end. Genzo just shrugs, blowing a raspberry to his lips. I mean, all he had to do was ask. Come on, I hook my arms beneath Orlam's pits in an attempt to pull him up to his feet. He sags like a limp rag doll in my grip. What the hell is wrong with you, Gen? Gidget's hands on her hips. Genzo shoots the middle finger toward the sky with an angry jerk. Oh, sorry. Guess I didn't know today was shit on Genzo Day. Nobody's shitting on you. And then we slightly subdued hiss. And I think you've had a little too much. Genzo grunts and wipes his nose. Whatever, it's fine. I'm just the resident loser after all. I always fuck everything up. You're better off without me. What are you even talking about? Orlam's starting to slip between my arms and I try to readjust my grip. Nothing. I've already made a jackass of myself enough for one night. No need to embarrass myself further. He rolls at his face, staggers forward. He's looking really bad. I need to get out of here. He stumbles away, reaching for the inflatable wall, so he can use it to guide himself back to the exit. I watch him for a moment before finally yanking Orlam the rest of the way up. He pitches forward in an attempt to find his balance. His face, his cheeks, forehead, neck, everything is bright red. Oh, He doesn't look at me. His shoulders hunched as he tugs at his rat tail. He just takes a gentle hold of his shoulders in an attempt to steady him. Her face is a mixture of pity and curiosity. I throw another look in Genzo's direction. He's stumbling along about halfway there. Then an errant bounce from one of our classmates rocks his balance, and he goes down hard. Shit. Visions of him getting trampled filling my head. I take off after him. I make about 5 loppings and steps before I, too, go down. I land half on top of him. For a second, I can't do much of anything, the world jumping and shuddering around me. But once I gather myself, I manage to grab a hold of Genzo's smaller frame and roll out the path of our screeching classmates. Ouch. We're a tangled mess of limbs now, my fingers clenched tight in the fabric of his jacket, and his legs hooked up over my hip. I could feel his heart beating against my chest. It sounds like it's going into overdrive. His breath is short and stilted against my neck. Iggy? His voice sounds semi-panicked. Yeah, it's just me, I say near his ear. Though for some reason, this doesn't seem to distill his distress. If anything, his heartbeat starts beating faster. Didn't want you coming out looking like a pancake, I laugh. The side of his mouth twitches, but I start feeling him shifting against me. Anyways, come on, let's get you out of here before both of us get crushed to death. I give him a squeeze around the middle, and drag both of us towards the exit. My only question is, how does Genzo's sunglasses stay on his face? How do they stay on like that? I mean, if you're bouncing in a bouncy castle, they sure as hell would have fallen off. We go rolling from the crackling tarp and onto the floor of the gym below with a flop. It takes a moment for the world to stop spinning and my head to stop ringing, for me to get adjusted to the bright lights and sudden quiet. But before I can do as much as set up, Genzo's already extricated himself from me with a jerk. He scritches away with a look of panic and stronger this time. Where's my stick? It's over there. What's wrong? Just give me it, okay? I rise shakily to my feet, throwing a glance towards Gidget as she slides out after us, then wandering over where I tossed his cane. When I offer it to him, he quickly snatches it from my hand. He's acting weird. Shoulders hunched, body turned away from me, legs crossed. You okay? I'm fine. Just, I'll be, right back, okay? He flicks his cane out and begins walking away, nearly running into a trio of chatting girls along the way. Okay, I guess, I say to no one in particular. I have no idea what's gotten into him. Well, okay, I have some idea, and a whole bottle full of alcohol. But even that doesn't explain his current behavior. I attempt to smooth down my rumpled clothes before wiping the sweat from my forehead. Between the physical exertion and the buildup of dry air in that thing, I'm absolutely parched. So I wander to a nearby table of drinks, one of the parent chaperones is managing, and grab a couple of water bottles, figuring I'll get some for everyone. On my way back, four water bottles tucked to my arms, and I see Gidget talking to Orlum. Said to tell you something. Huh? Said he needed you to, help him with something. He did? Orlum gets very flustered at this. I can see him curling and looping his fingers through his rat tail. Yeah, he went down that way, I think. She gestures off in the direction Genzo headed. Orlum follows her finger with his gaze, glances back, looks again. Just as I arrive with the water bottles, he scuttles off, looking very much like a mouse escaping into its hole. Where'd he go? He just shrugs, then sees the water. Oh, is that for us? Yeah, guess I'll just keep these for when those two come back. I hand her one, trying to figure out what to do with the others before finally shoving each one of them into my jacket pockets. They only half fit, sticking out humorously above the fabric like sweaty dumbbells. Want to sit down? I nod in the direction of the bleachers as I unscrew the cap of my own bottle and take a swig. Sounds good. My feet are killing me. A short climb later, and we're halfway up the bleachers, perched on one of the benches and gazing down upon the boisterous gym floor. Gidget's taken her shoes off and is stretching her toes on the seat in front of us as she sneaks sips from her water. Wonder where Bucks and Hunar disappeared to. I throw half a serious glance across the heads of our fellow students. Haven't seen them since bingo. Who knows? They got meditation going in the wrestling room. Maybe they're there. I hum beneath my breath, elbows on my knees and chin resting on my palms. Kinda weird though when you think about it. I cock my head in direction. Just all of us after this. Who knows where we'll go, you know? She pauses and takes a sip. After being together for so long, it feels weird. Like, I won't be able to just call one of you up. No more after schools at Norman's. Yeah, it's weird. We sit there for a moment, letting the silence linger between us. You still going as a fashion? I finally ask. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Campbell already accepted me anyway, so... I think back to a year prior, when Gidget had gushed constantly about wanting to apply for Springwood software development program. Now, however, I hadn't even heard her mention Springwood since. I turn my gaze away, scratching at the back of my neck. The water bottle feels especially heavy in my pockets. Iggy? When I glance back, I see her staring at her feet. Do you think I'm pretty? I nearly spit my water out. In a fluster, I attempt to wipe off my mouth, tremble audible in my voice as I ask, "What do you mean by that?" Her face is red now. I was thinking about maybe going into modeling after school. Oh? I screw the lid back on my water. There's little droplets of water that on my glass now. They're distracting me. I told my mom, but she said I'm too ugly. That's bullshit. I say just a bit too loud, then glance around nervously to check if none of the parents' chaperones had heard me. When it seems that I'm in the clear, I lean forward, hissing softer this time. That's bullshit. Damn, I'm freaking keyboard breaking again. Is it, though? I see a side of her mouth twitch. Of course it is. You're the most gorgeous girl I know. I mean, look at you. I gestured towards her dress. You look like you stepped out of a painting or something. Like an angel. Yeah. Gidget sits back, her cheeks pink. You think I look like an angel? I caught it in my hand. I mean, yeah. My knee bouncing now. It's making the bleachers rattle. When I look over, I see tears forming in Gidget's eyes. Shit, what's wrong? Did I say something wrong? No, She snaps. No one's ever said anything like that to me before. Hey, I hesitate. Pull up my sweaty collar, then finally bring my arm around her shoulder. That's just 'cause, no one else knows the real you. The real me? Yeah, the you inside. Your spirit. I reach forward and tap the area above her heart. Then recoil as when I realize just how close to her chest that is. I pat her knee instead. The kind of thing only someone as close as me would know. I have no idea what I'm talking about at this point. I'm just rambling in an attempt to make her feel better. Gidget looks down bashfully, a little grin playing on her lips. You sing. So don't let anyone tell you you're ugly, okay? You're always beautiful to me. For a second, I worry that she's going to start crying again. Her head tilts down towards her knees, and her eyes go strangely dark. Aww. Then she jerks upwards, her cheeks pressed against my shoulder, and her smile reaching from ear to ear. Oh, Iggy, I'm gonna be the best model, the prettiest model, just for you. Your angel. Her hand finds mine, and she lets out a happy sigh, just leaning against my shoulder. Then we simply sit there, staring out across the gym, at the faces of classmates we'll likely never see again. For a second, I feel like... oh, God. Oh, my throat's dry. I feel like I'm standing on top of a tall cliff and looking down into the unknown. Things are going to change after this, aren't they? Never going to be the same again. The 2 water bottles in my pocket stay there until they grow warm. I crack open my eyes. The world is colorful and blurry, my head cloudy, pillows soft beneath my cheek. I must have fallen asleep? I don't really remember. At some point my memories had simply drifted off into black nothingness. The calming lull of the carriage rocking beneath us had probably knocked me right out. I blink away the crust and sleep in my eyes, allowing the light to drift in and the world to sharpen. Everything is tilted just slightly sideways. Ha! And I realize with the start that the pillow cradling my head is the one I'm currently drooling on. Is not a pillow at all, and is in fact Genzo's head. Ha! My whole body is slumped up against some kind of limp doll. And Genzo himself is just sitting there, staring straight ahead, his arms locked across his chest. Shit, I groan and push myself up and away. The drool forms a nice sagging arc between my cap and his cap and my lips. I must have dozed off. I bring a hand to my forehead and press my palm to my eyes. Genzo just grunts. I toss a glance outside. We're still surrounded by trees. Huh? How long has it been? Genzo scratches his head. Not that long, really. Though I can't help but feel that he's lying. Let me, ask, I guess. He grabs the edge of a table in an attempt to pull himself forward and out of the tight grip of the seat, leading towards the closest window. Yo, C's. How much longer we got on this thing? There's no response. C's! He pounds the side of the carriage with his fist. Hello up there. So, someone shoved D's in your ear or what? When there's still no response, he falls back with a disgruntled sigh, once again squeezing my pelvis into the side of the seat. Fucking clipboard carrying jack off. I let my gaze drift backward towards the scenery. The trees are still there, but they're growing sparser. I swear I can hear far-off sounds of life, wheels rolling across cobblestones, the clink of tableware, doors opening and closing. Wait, maybe where I start. When all of a sudden the carriage comes to an abrupt stop, and the two of us go lurching forward. The edge of the table slams into my ribs, and I let out a sputtered grunt. I'm really starting to dislike this guy, Genzo mutters. I hear what sounds like Cecil hopping down in front of the carriage, followed by footsteps approaching the door. It opens with a jerk. We have arrived. Thank fucking God. Genzo has practically launched himself out of the opening. His foot missing must get caught on the edge of the carriage, though, because his launch quickly turns into a free fall as he face plants on the ground in front of Cecil's feet. Cecil looks down at him in disdain, then holds up a silent hand to assist my own descent. I can't help but feel like I'm some kind of princess as I take it, gingerly avoiding Genzo's prostrate form and on the cobblestone as I step to the ground. My gaze goes immediately to our surroundings. We're in some kind of small village. Quaint white and dark wood cottages surround us on all sides, and puffing chimneys punctuate the uneven horizon. This is incredibly familiar. And not just from my childhood memories either. It feels like far too recent for that. Gidget's here? I asked, as though there could be any doubt. Cecil makes some kind of affirming murmur in the back of his throat. The mistress was hoping you would join her for dinner tonight. In the meantime, you may rest at the inn. My brain says no, but my stomach says yes. So much for my charging to accept. So much to my charging, I accept this culinary invitation. Cecil looks at him and blinks. It's a dinner for two. Genzo presses his lips together, looking positively affronted. You know, Steve, you're really starting to grate on my last nerve here. He cracks his knuckles at a twitch of his head. I bring my hand to Genzo's shoulder. It's fine, Genzo. We need to figure out what's going on here anyways. It'll give me a chance to talk with Gidget, so please. Genzo winces. His gaze drops. Right, of course, sure. Then he grins, but even I can tell he's forced. Don't worry about me. I'll find something around here. It's not like I'm used to dining in solitude. Now it's my turn to wince. But I'm not even given time to dwell on the depressing state of Genzo's daily routine. Cecil coughs, pointedly, waiting for us to look at him, then cocks his head. If you gentlemen will follow me. He turns on his heels with an abrupt twist and hands in his pocket as he wanders off towards one of the nearby buildings. Genzo and I can only shuffle along after him, and my brain already spinning 1,000 anxious threads about what dinner will bring, and where the night will lead. Okay, so I actually was told by the creator that there is going to be a bit of copyright music at this point possibly, so I'm going to be turning the music volume down for now. I putter about my room until nightfall. I don't really know what else to do, and my twisting bowels are doing their best to ensure I can't get any actual rest. I do take a shower though, wash myself up, lie in bed in my room, stare at the ceiling, fingers laced across the nausea in my belly. About the time my stomach is starting to growl in hunger rather than anxiety, Cecil comes to get me. He doesn't say anything, just staring at me over the dark circles beneath his eyes. Then twists on his heels to lay me downstairs. I don't see Genzo on our way outside. I wonder if he's still in his room. I'm not given long to think about him, however, as the moment we exit the indoors, my breath is stolen by the awaiting scenery. Oh. The whole tower has turned into a glittering landscape of gold. Okay, maybe it was a bit of false alarm. It's not at that certain scene yet. Soft yellow lanterns hang from the eaves of almost every building, and strands of golden lights line the winding streets, almost like lightning bugs floating in the night sky. My mind goes instantly to the types of fairy tale towns you'd seen in picture books as a child. There's something almost magical about the sights. I feel the hair on my arms stand up from the sheer wonderment. Do keep up. Cecil's uninterested voice snaps at me from my reverie, and I realize he's already a good number of paces ahead of me. I jog to catch up, head still in the swivel as we make our way down the late dappled path. I wonder where we're going. Then realize I already know. That's right. We're going to the pier. We always go to the pier. Winding and weaving, we follow the path downwards. I see the dark expanse of water come into view. And in front of that expanse, the strands of lights from a glimmering circle like a halo, with a small table below it. The table is done up in sparkling finery, crimson tablecloths, silver cutlery, glinting wine glasses, dancing candles. And surrounding the table itself was about 50 flowers worth of petals, adorning the ground like scattered snowflakes. This is... I instinctively gulp. Beads of sweat are already starting to form along my hairline. This way, he gestures me further along as we near the water, and I see her. She's standing alongside the railing, looking out across the lake. But she turns at our approach. Oh, Gidget. For a second time that night, I find my breath stolen away from me. She looks gorgeous. Soft smile playing on her lips, eyes quivering, blonde hair cascading down her neck like shimmering gold beneath the glow of the hanging lights. I must look like a deer in headlights because she brings her hand to her mouth with a low laugh. Hey, you. Hi. I raise my hand awkwardly. What the fuck is wrong with me? She takes a step in my direction, throwing a shy glance at the table, our surroundings. They set it up for me. I didn't realize it was going to be so extravagant. They? I loop a hand around my neck, unloop it, shuffle my feet. Oh, right, Gidget's hands go to her cheeks. The people here, they've really been taking care of me, a laugh. When I said you were coming and that it'd be nice to have dinner, they kinda... She made a semi-panicked motion with her hands as she throws another embarrassed glance at the table. Took things into their own hands. Oh, I see. But anyway, let's eat. Cecil said he's arranged for all the food. Wanted to make sure we had the best. I throw a glance at Cecil, who's standing a few paces off, looking as disagreeable as ever. I can't imagine him wanting the best for anyone. Sure, that sounds good. We start for the table. I'm just about to sit down when I see Gidget just standing next to her chair. Cecil clears his throat loudly. Right. I pull the collar of my shirt anxiously, then step over and pull Gidget's chair out so she can sit. Gidget looks pleased as a punch. Cecil looks like he wants to murder me in my sleep. I swallow nervously, then slide into the chair opposite Gidget. Cecil begins pouring wine into our glasses. I start, hands going from the table to my lap, then back to the table. But Gidget speaks up before I can find my words. I knew you'd come, she says softly. You did? She nods, a shy smile playing on her lips. Something inside me, I just knew. I could feel it. A laugh, even down to the day. Isn't that weird? That's how I was able to send Cecil to come pick you up. I hope the ride was comfortable. Oh yeah, it was fine. Great. No point bringing up the seating situation now, especially when with Cecil practically breathing down my neck. I do know what you mean, though. I've had similar feelings myself, that things are familiar somehow. It's been weirding me out since I got here. Right? Like, how in the world could any of this be familiar? Gidget laughs. The sound of it reminds me of orange soda somehow. Ha! Her gaze softens, drops to the table. And yet, it is almost like this is right. This is where we're supposed to be. What we're supposed to be doing. The side of my mouth twitches. I'm not quite sure I share her opinion. I open my mouth to say something, only for Cecil to cut me off with a plate full of food. Your dinner. Oh, thank you. He places it in front of me, a steaming hot plate with vegetables, potatoes, and a large steak in its center. It certainly looks delicious. Just the smell of it sends saliva glands in into harmonious ecstasy. This looks amazing. Thank you, Cecil. Shall I provide musical accompaniment for the evening? Oh, that would be wonderful. Gidget brings her hands together with a smile. Would you? I would be delighted, he responds, completely deadpan. He shoots me another look of disdain, before pulling a violin out of who knows where and jumping promptly into a romantic interlude. Gidget closes her eyes as she listens, looking completely content. I take a hesitant sip of my wine. Where did you, get this guy? Oh, Cecil? She brings a finger to her chin, gaze turning to the sky. Well, I needed someone to help and arrange all my shoots, so I guess you could say he's kind of like my agent. A laugh. But after a while, he started helping me out with other things as well. It's gotten to the point that I don't know what I do without him. I throw a wary glance in Cecil's direction. He certainly seems. He looks so pissed off. he looks so pissed off and tired. Like, my God. The music stops. Cecil's eyes turn towards me. Dependable? I finish with a start. He just goes away. Okay, this is probably officially the funniest moment in this entire game. He must be satisfied with this as the music begins anew. Gidget just smiles. She picks up her wine glass and swirls it around, staring at the revolving liquid. Also, he was there for me when I first got here. I was a bit of a mess, to be honest. Head all over the place, in a bit of a dark place. I see her lip tremble. I don't know. It was like there was a moment where I just needed someone desperately, and then he was just there. My thoughts go immediately to the moment in the car, to the way she looked at me after dinner, dark, just the way her eyes are now. I can't help but feel like I know I'm responsible. That's great, though. Yeah, that's great. I take an overly large sip of my wine. You said shoots. Shoots? That means you're doing modeling gigs, and is that right? Mm-hmm. She brightens at this. Oh, Iggy, you should see me. I'm having the time of my life. Everybody loves me here. I've never felt so alive. So right? Finally, everything I've done is paying off. That's fantastic. Everyone loves me the way I am now. I get so many compliments all the time about how beautiful I am, about my hair, about the outfits. Oh God, Iggy, you have to see some of the gorgeous outfits I get to wear down here. What about you? What about what you said back at the car? Sounds amazing. Oh, okay. This is probably gonna be the big choice here that'll probably determine what will happen. Um. Oh, I'm all out of save slots. At least I think I am. What about what you said back in the car? If we're not, if he doesn't say, like, here's the one saying that everybody says, right? If you don't say it now, if you don't ask now, you'll never know, right? Something about what she says makes me twitch. Like a weird wriggling worm at the back of my brain. A nagging shadow of guilt. What about, what you said back in the car? She cocks her head to the side. I mean, now I'm starting to feel awkward. Maybe I shouldn't even say anything. She looks so happy now after all. But at this point, I've already brought it up. So, running a shaky hand through my hair, I continue. About, not knowing who you are anymore. Like, if this is really what you want to do. And who you want to be. My mind continues, though the words stop short of my tongue. She simply stares at me for a moment, and all I see is the side of her mouth twitch ever so slightly. But then the smile returns, a little bit too wide. Oh, that? I laugh. That was, just me overthinking things like normal. I do that a lot, especially when I get kind of down, But, yeah. I mean, now that I'm here, I've got it all figured out. I know exactly who I am. Now it's my turn to cock my head. You do? Of course! She sways her hands for emphasis. Everybody here, they showed me how beautiful I really am. Show me that this is who I'm meant to be. They all really love me so much, Iggy. They make me feel like some kind of goddess. And now, she starts before suddenly going shy, gaze falling to the table. And now I can see why. I thought that this place has already granted me everything I wanted, but perhaps my greatest wish is still yet to come. Her gaze tilts back up, eyes looking straight at me, through me, and I feel a strange shiver run up my spine. I stuffed a forkful of veggies into my mouth. To be honest, I always think about you during my shoots, wanting to make you proud. I've been wanting you to see me so bad, to see what I've been able to do here. My face is starting to grow warm. I wanted to show you how beautiful I've become. She looks down at this, her own cheeks going pink. So I could be your angel. I promptly choke on my green bean. Eyes wandering, I thump on my chest. Iggy? Gidget jumps half up out of her chair, and Cecil's music comes to a tonal halt. I sputter out a series of phlegmy coughs before I'm finally able to expel the bean from my throat, saying it flying back onto my plate with a gooey flop. Gidget smiles nervously at me, forcing a chuckle. Are you, okay? Sorry, yeah, just, went down the wrong tube. I reach immediately for the wine glass and down about half of it in one gulp. Gidget sits back down, and Cecil sits back to the violin with a look of resentment in my direction. All I can do is stare down at the half-chewed bean sticking out from the mashed potatoes. This is going to be a long night. Poor Iggy. Fortunately, the rest of the dinner goes by without much fanfare. We talked about her shoots, what else she's been doing down here, which brings us up to the topic of Orlum. Oh right, Orlum's here, isn't he? But like everything at this point, this comes to no surprise. Of course Orlum's here, where else would he be? Gidget recounts a tale of one of his castle parties in a grandeur pageantry. It's weird listening to her tell it. Almost like I can picture it in my mind. See him in my mind. She describes him dancing. And I can feel us dancing. My fingers between his hand on my hip. The strangest sensation. All this stuff happened in Arc 3. This is all in Arc 3, wasn't it? And All of a sudden, I'm overcome with guttural sense of loneliness, as though a piece of myself is missing. A piece that fits nicely, curled up against my side. Tuft of orange hair tickling in my bare arm. I shake my head to dispel the thoughts. This is getting weird. But at this point, I've stopped questioning just about everything. When Gidget asks what's wrong, I simply laugh it off. Laugh him off. Right, it's nothing. None of that's real. Gidget is real. In front of me, looking at me, waiting for my answer. That's right, I need to tell her. But no matter how I try, the words get stuck in my throat. Would you still want to be my angel if you knew? The smile on my lips quivers. Knew what I'd never be able to do for you? Thinking about the answer shames me, and my throat clenches even tighter around the words. Once dinner is finished, we leave Cecil to clean up the table and start back for the inn. We take a roundabout way through the winding roads, just gazing up at the lights in the dark expanse of sky. At some point, Gidget's hand finds mine, and I don't pull away. Her fingers are soft in mine, warm, secure, a comforting presence keeping me tied to reality, and free from the cloying grip of my self-doubt. When she smiles at me, something unclenches inside my chest, and I feel at home. We near the top of the hill, back to the main square. I can see the inn just on the other side. Our walk will be over soon. Our talk will be over soon. I haven't told her yet. My heart starts to pick up again. I have to do it now. But the thought of the light vanishing from her face, her fingers slipping from mine, never to reach out for them again, steals the words every time they dance across my tongue. Iggy? I feel her come to a stop, so I stop too, looking back at her. She looks at me, at the ground. I feel her fingers tighten around mine. I'm sorry, she finally says. For what? For that day back in the car. She pressed her lips together. It feels like forever ago to me now, but there hasn't been a day when I haven't stopped thinking about it, haven't regretted it. I shouldn't have pushed myself onto you like that. Her shoulders start to shake. Then I see tears come. First tiny sprinkles that dance on her eyelashes, then morphing into rivers that wind down her cheeks. Hey! I reach forward before I have a chance to think about pulling her into my arms. She buries her head in my shoulder. I'm so scared, Iggy. Scared of what? I feel like if I lose you, I lose everything. This makes my brows furrow. I sit on this moment, pondering it. And slowly, why would you say something like that? She rubs her face into the fabric of my shirt, leaving streaks of snot and tears. I don't know. It's stupid. I just feel so lost sometimes. But not when I think of you. When I think of you, everything makes sense. A pause. I feel like you're my only you're my one chance. A sniff. The only one who could like someone like me. Gidget. I just so desperately want to make you happy. To be perfect for you. So we can have the perfect life. Something twists inside of me. I'm not sure if it's related to residual guilt still building in my gut. The fact that her words are hit terrifyingly close to the feelings I've entertained myself, or something else entirely. I pull back with a frown, and she looks at me, her eyes watery and streaked. I feel my muscles move on instinct, almost like I'm being pulled by some invisible force. I reach forward, lifting my toes ever so slightly. Oh, and press my lips to hers. Aww. Her eyes open wide at first, then squeeze tight, tears flooding at their corners as my arms go around her neck. Her arms go around my neck. Fuck, it feels good. Just holding each other like this, her lips wonderful against mine, sweet against mine, washing everything else away. When I pull back and see her cheeks rosy and her mouth cocked in the usual off-kilter grin of hers, I can't help but think that she's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. She brings a hand up to wipe. She brings a hand up to wipe my eyes with a phlegmy chuckle. God, look at me. It's okay. I probably don't look much better myself. Silence settles over us as we simply stand there, identical awkward grins on our faces. What do I do now? I've never been in this situation before. Does she expect me to do something? To say something? I bring a hand to my forehead, feeling sweaty again. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. I finally say, voice cracking. It's okay. I am too, honestly. Gidget brings her hands up with a little wave, her gaze dropping in nervous uncertainty. Do you want me to walk you home? I glance around, suddenly feeling quite stupid. Not that I know where home is. Gidget just laughs. It's just a little house down the road. The people here got it ready for me a little while after I arrived. Alright then, I'll walk you to your little house down the road, I say with undoubtedly dorky grin, then refined her hand. I would be delighted if you walk me there. Walk me there, good sir. She gives a little half bow, half curtsy thing, with a snorted laugh. The two of us are making our way along, back down the road, interlocked hands swinging between us like high school sweethearts. Aww. For once I feel fucked. Okay, well, I think this is the part the dev kind of told me that this is where the copyright is, so I might as well turn the music down. Fucking fuck. I didn't tell her. I stare at the ceiling of my room, back in the inn, fingers clenching on my cheeks and pulling down the skin of my eyes. I had one thing I needed to do, and I couldn't even do that. If anything, I probably made it worse, because now she has, like, expectations. Now she's going to assume things of me, hope things of me, and I'm going to let her down. Fuck, am I gonna let her down? I roll over onto my side, bringing my knees against my chest. Fuck. She's going to hate me. I'm going to break her heart. Already the telltale heat is building up beneath my eyes, tears pricking in the corners. The nausea is back with a vengeance, cruel and bitter as it eats away at my heart. Before I can completely lose myself to misery, however, there's a knock on the door. I blink my eyes, sit up. Who could? I wipe my face to erase the blurry traces of tears, push myself to my feet. As I'm taking a step to the door, a wave of deep, guttural fear washes through me. I stop. Why does opening the door suddenly feel like it's an incredibly bad idea? I look down and see my fingers shaking. And when I swallow, my throat feels unbearably tight. Cold steel, pressed against my neck, snipping. But I shake my head, will away the thoughts. Stupid. I step towards the door and turn the knob. But I stop before I can finish. It's not Gidget. It's Genzo. And looking mildly shell-shocked, too, as though he'd just forgotten everything he'd been about to say, is all he can manage, and his eye twitching. What is it? I run a tired hand through my hair. He bites down on his lips with a frown, looks up, down, and then finally breaks out an overly wide grin. How'd it go, huh? I wince. This is not really what I need right now. But at the same time, familiar company does seem more preferable than downing in my thoughts. I nod for him to come in with a little grunt. He steps inside almost nervously, looking around the room as he smooths down the front of his jacket. It went great. And horrible, I finally say with a sigh. He plops down on the bed. That's what we learned individuals like to call an oxymoron, Iggs. I didn't tell her. Kenzo's brow arc. You didn't tell her? No! I sink down next to him before falling flat on my back, hands to my face. I chickened out, okay? I just couldn't fucking do it. He looks back at me, his eyes tight. Then brings the hand to my knee with a reassuring squeeze. It's okay. These things take time sometimes. I just groaned. His words provided me no comfort. I couldn't stop thinking about how she'd hate me once I told her that I'd ruined everything, that she wouldn't be able to look at me the same way anymore. There's a long, pregnant pause after this. Genzo seems to be looking at the far wall. Silent, still. So still, in fact, that if it weren't for the gentle rise and fall of my shoulders, I would have sworn he died right there in his introspection. He shifts again. It finally flops onto his back next to me. Both of us are staring up at the ceiling. I see him open his mouth, close it. I have something I've never told someone too. Really? You? I laugh in spite of myself. You've always said the first thought that pops into your head. This makes him smile. Hey, I don't deny that. More silence. I toss a curious glance at him. He's got his lips pressed together, and is blinking just slightly too rapidly. He says, his voice cracking. Then shifts his hand over on top of my forearm, fingers curling around it softly. He goes still again, just lying there. Stomach moving up and down with his breath. I feel his fingers tighten. They leave clammy dents atop my skin. I hear him swallow. Then, his grip loosens, and then he gives my arm a little pat, almost as though praising a dog that's just performed an impressive trick. Just don't be like me, he says finally, through his voice. Though his voice is noticeably strained. I throw another glance at him, but his gaze is still pointed upwards. All that for that? I cock a brow. This makes him laugh. You know me. I'm a sucker for theatrics. More like you're just weird. That too. I let my gaze return to the ceiling. No, both of us are just staring up at it again. That expanse of white overhead, threatening to swallow us whole. I poke at my eggs, watching the yolk run out over the pocketed white fluff. It mixes in with the bacon and hash browns like molten yellow lava. Alright, well, I think I'm going to leave this episode here for now, guys. Kind of a weird place to leave it off on, but I might as well save the rest of Arc 4 for tomorrow. I don't know, maybe I'll record another episode after this, but that is if I have the energy to. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss this.
You say you wanna try, but you never do.